Hello everyone, I'm Adelia Tantra Dewi with the last student number 43. Today I would like to share a weird experience based on my own experience, of course, and the title of my story is The Shadow in My Cousin's Hallway. Okay, so a few years ago, I stayed at my cousin's house for the weekend. They live in a quiet neighborhood and their home always had this a warm, welcoming vibe, lots of light during the day, cozy furniture, and a kitchen that always smelled like freshly baked cookies because my aunt runs a bakery. And yeah, I always love visiting. That night, my cousin and I decided to sleep in the guest room downstairs instead of her room upstairs. It was closer to the living room, and we figured we could talk and laugh until we fell asleep without waking anyone else. The guest room was small but cozy with two twin beds pushed against opposite walls and a door that led directly into the long, narrow hallway. And we stayed up for a while, whispering and giggling in the dark, the dim hallway light barely visible under the door. Eventually, we both started to drift off, the house now completely quiet except for the faint hum of the air conditioner. And then at some point, I woke up suddenly, unsure why. The room was still, but something felt off. I turned my head toward the door and noticed a faint shadow moving across the small gap at the bottom. It was slow, almost like it was gliding, not walking. I didn't want to say anything, thinking my tired brain was playing tricks on me, so I closed my eyes and tried to ignore it. A moment later, the bed creaked. I thought it was my cousin turning over in her sleep, but when I glanced at her bed, she was sitting up, staring at the door. Her white eyes told me she'd seen it too, but neither of us spoke. Then we heard a soft, deliberate footsteps coming down the hallway toward the guest room. It stopped just outside the door. My cousin and I froze, holding our breath. The doorknob rattled. It wasn't loud or aggressive, just a faint, testing motion, as if someone or something was trying to decide whether to come in. And then I felt my cousin grab my arm, her nails digging into my skin. I wanted to whisper something to reassure her, but I couldn't find my voice, guys. The doorknob still. For a moment, everything was silent again, but then the shadow returned. This time it wasn't moving across the floor, it was standing still directly in front of the door. We stayed like that, frozen and terrified, for what felt like hours but was probably only minutes. Then finally, the shadow moved away, gliding back down the hallway. We didn't dare open the door to check, like most movies do. Instead, we turned on every light in the room and huddled together on one bed, waiting for morning. And then, when we told my aunt about it, the next day she gave us a strange look and said, "You guys probably imagine it, but that hallway has always been a little odd."
Hello everyone, my name is Putu Wartini Putri with the last student ID number 042, and today I would like to tell you about my personal weird experience, specifically about my pet, which is a bird named Sushi. So I have Sushi since she was like this small, this little, like she's just hatched, and she's that type of a bird where like she's smart, like she knows her name. You can actually like play with her together. You can train her how to sing, etc. So there's this one day where I was actually playing with her inside of my bedroom. My grandma accidentally opened the door of our house like widely, and yeah, you know what? She flew away, but gladly, like thankfully at that time, she doesn't really know how to fly because she's like so little. So she doesn't really know how to fly properly. I still can get her back and I still can reach her. And then the next time, like few months after that, the same like similar accident, she flew away again. But this time, I kept calling her name like Sushi, Sushi. I still can hear her, but I cannot see her because like she's like flying around so high. And then I was crying desperately. I was so frustrated. And then I have this one thought, okay, I have to tell my dad to post her picture on Facebook. And he did. And then after like 3 days, there's one person contacted my dad, said, I think your bird is with me. And yeah, like this person, he had my bird. He had Sushi, because I think like Sushi is like hungry, so she get down to this one person house, and then like weirdly this person saw my dad's post on Facebook and contacted my dad, and I came to his house, and yes, right, that is Sushi. I mean, if it's like happening to a dog or a cat, I think it's like still okay, but it's happening to a bird, and it's so weird because it's like 3 days long. It's such a long time, and it's Marka. I cannot say anything. It's weird, but like, how could this possibly happen? I don't even know. But yeah, that's weird. But like, thank God she's with me now. I love Sushi so much, and yeah, I think that's it for my story. Thank you so much for listening, and bye bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Komang Febi Diah Pramitha with last student ID number 035. Alright, so I'm going to tell you a story about my friend Tiara. So she has the weirdest food cravings ever. Like I've heard of people craving pickles and peanut butter or ice cream with fries, but Tiara she's on a whole other level. Okay, so let's start with the fried chicken incident. So one day we went to this fried chicken place we would love, and everything seemed normal at first. She was happily munching on her chicken, and then out of nowhere she says, "You know what would make this better? Chocolate sauce." I love thinking she was joking, but no, Tiara was that serious. So she walked right up to the counter and asked for a side of chocolate syrup. So it's kind they use for Sunday's ice cream, and came back to the table grinning like she just discovered a life hack. And then she started dipping her fried chicken in it. I was horrified and asked her, "What are you doing, Tiara?" She just smiled and said, "Trust me, it's like sweet, savory, and it's amazing." She took a bite and looked like she was in heaven. And then, of course, she handed me a piece and insisted I try it. I was so grossed out, but I caved because she wouldn't stop staring at me. And let me tell you, it was disgusting. It's just like someone spilled dessert all over dinner. But Tiara, she really enjoyed. She finished the whole thing and even said, "Next time I'm bringing my own chocolate sauce, just in case they don't have." And also, there's a few days later, Tiara made herself a big fluffy omelette for breakfast. Nothing weird so far, right? Except then she pulls out a bottle of chocolate syrup and starts drizzling it all over the omelette like it's pancakes. I stood there in shock and said, "Tiara, why are you doing this?" She just shrugged and said, "It's good, trust me." And then she ate it, not just a bite, she ate the whole thing, nodding like she just discovered the greatest recipe all of the time. Honestly, at this point, I'm scared to see what she will crave next. I wouldn't be surprised if she started dipping strawberries in ketchup or putting soy sauce in ice cream. So yeah, that's my friend Tiara, the queen of weird food combos. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Rinna Marka Hirdayanti with last student ID number 034. So today I'm going to share a weird experience from my personal life. So this story happened when I had just graduated from 6th grade or was about to start middle school. So at that time, I was learning how to ride a motorcycle because I planned to use it to go to school, so I needed to practice. So I remember the story clearly. It was only a few weeks after I started learning how to ride, and I was already getting a hang of it. So one Friday afternoon, my cousin who was visiting my house and I decided to go bought some snack buy some snacks from a small store near my house. So I wanted to use the motorcycle to show off my riding skills in front of my cousin. So since the store wasn't that far, we finished shopping quickly and headed back home. We placed the snacks in a plastic bag and put it in the front of my motorcycle. So the weird part is happened when I tried to act cool and ride fast. But what happened next made me regret it because I was speeding. The plastic bag with our snacks flew off and scattered on the road. I was surprised, and my cousin was also shocked to see our snacks flying everywhere. We quickly pulled over, ran back, and picked up what was left of the snacks on the road. I don't remember if there were any other people passing by at that time, but my neighbor is usually quiet. So we hurried to gather everything, and since we couldn't find the plastic bag, again my cousin carried all the snacks in her hands. So we ran back to the motorcycle and we laughed about it on the way back home. But I also felt regretful for speeding, and this experience also taught me a lesson. Don't ride a motorcycle when you're underage and never speed on the road, even if it's empty. And that's it about my own weird experience. Thank you for listening.